I'm on the air. Hi, welcome to Monkey Time. It's always Monkey Time because we're all monkeys. Everyone always asks me, why is it Monkey Time? It's because look in the mirror, that's cuz. So the show's live every Wednesday at 8. When we went down to a half hour, Carol, we lost all the phone calls, but you can call. The number's 996-6775. We've got to talk about the Girl Scout boycott, which when I saw the words Girl Scout boycott, everybody's got their favorite. This site tells me everything about the world. Right? Yours is Facebook, right, Carol? Mine is Metafilter. If you don't know metafilter.com, you're missing out on one of the smartest discussion sites out there, honestly. But, of course, if you only have your Facebook friends, who are all smart people, I'm sure, and family, then you have smart discussions on Facebook, too. Anyway, so the transgender kid who got allowed into a Colorado chapter of the Girl Scouts, a kid down in Louisiana, a girl down in Louisiana, has started this boycott Girl Scout cookies this year movement against the inclusiveness of the Girl Scout troop. You've heard this, right? If they haven't, Carol, they're going to hear it tonight. Or, tomorrow. It hit Huffington Post, it hit WorldNet Daily, and those two sites pretty much have all of your Facebook covered. Your right-wing lunatic relatives and your left-wing fringe relatives, they all get their news from WorldNet Daily and the Huffington Post. So, or Drudge. Drudge tends to avoid gay-themed stories, Carol. You know why? Because he's a closet case. Yeah, Matt Drudge is a closet case, and so when you see like anytime a Republican gets outed, Carol, like they're caught in a bathroom with their wide stance or whatever, Drudge is always like last to the party, news-wise. I swear to God, this is a true fact. It's science has proven this. It may be confirmation bias on my part, but I don't think so. Every time some kind of gay scandal on the Republican Party hits, I always go to Drudge and see what he has to say about it. Silence. Any other kind of scandal, Drudge, the Wiener scandal, whatever, he's all over that for days, right, driving the news coverage. But whenever there's some kind of closet case being outed in odd circumstances, Matt Drudge tends to be silent, is my experience. If anybody's got other evidence, please let me know. And the reason is he's closeted. Not quite as deeply closeted. No, I think Anderson Cooper's kind of moving out now. Don't you think, Carol? He's moving out. Anderson Cooper at CNN, if you all know he's gay, right? He's totally gay. He's dating a guy who's involved with the management of one of the hottest gay clubs in New York. I know, shocker, right? But okay, so I think Drudge is a little bit more closeted than Anderson at this point. I think a lot more closeted actually, and Anderson's slowly going to come out. In fact, Carol, that's my next 2012 prediction. Are you ready? Anderson Cooper's going to come out in 2012, after the election. All right, maybe 2013. So we have to talk about this case. It's really interesting because usually, the boycotts of the scouting world tend to focus on the Boy Scouts from the gay community. In this case, three Girl Scout troops associated with a Christian school in Louisiana have pulled themselves out from the Girl Scouts, and they're moving to, there's like American Heritage Scouts, Carol, which is a God-fearing Christian conservative alternative to the Girl Scouts, because anybody who didn't know the Girl Scouts was generally a liberal organization really has not been paying attention. So this little girl, this 14-year-old girl, has put a video up on YouTube calling for everyone to boycott because the Girl Scouts are honestScouts.com or something. HonestGirlScouts.com is her site. She's really trying to get people to be aware that the Girl Scouts are generally liberal. She's outraged that Betty Friedan, who's feeding this little girl information is what I want to know. She's going to feel so bad later in life, I think. But it's okay. She's discovering things. She's feeling a sense of her own power. It's good for 14-year-olds to feel a sense of their own power. Right, Carol? All right. So she's outraged that Betty Friedan, the famous feminist, was on the board of the Girl Scouts for 12 years. I'm like, who's just discovering this? Oh, a 14-year-old is. So they're trying to stir it up and make something, and we're talking about it, but I think it's fascinating can we talk about a different side to it than everything else? Look, I've only spent 5 minutes on the stuff that we shouldn't be talking about, Carol. That's pretty good. Now, what we do here on Monkey Time is we try to talk about this story that's going to hit all your Facebook friends, if it hasn't already. They're all going to be sending you different levels, different angles of outrage, right? That's how the internet is, right? Outrage. My latest outrage, Carol, we'll return to the transgender Girl Scout thing. My latest outrage this morning was, did you hear about the New York Philharmonic? There was somebody in the front rows of the New York Philharmonic last night. And was it last night? Yeah, it was last night. And in the middle of the finale, the quiet finale, the last movement of Mahler's Ninth Symphony, which is apparently gorgeous. I've only seen the fourth that the North Carolina Symphony did last month. It blew me away. I am a huge Mahler fan now, even though I've only ever heard one thing that he's ever done, and it was live by the Symphony last month. It was amazing. If you don't think you like classical music, and you haven't heard a symphony event live, it can really change the way you think about classical music. It has for me. So anyway, someone's cell phone started going off, Carol, and apparently it was one of those like snooze things. It was like an alarm that they had set, and it kept on going off. And so the conductor, sorry, this is my outrage this morning. I was so furious when I read this. The conductor actually stopped the orchestra on the second to last page of the score, Carol, of Mahler's Ninth Symphony, which is one of these huge sprawling symphonies, right? And stopped the orchestra very close to the end and just turned to the person and asked, are we done? You know, it was apparently very polite, very classy as you can be. And then, you know, is it off? Will it ring again? Because apparently it had been ringing for a long time. Anyway, the crowd was going nuts. Kick him out, fine him $1,000, you know, that kind of stuff, because they're a symphony crowd. They're not going to go after someone's throat. They'll say, fine him $1,000. No, and that's not fair. I see a lot of poor people at the symphony. I don't know how they get tickets, but I see a lot of people like me who have no business going to the symphony, kind of managing to finagle our way into the symphony. Anyway, that was my outrage this morning. So it's so funny. The internet gets all, you know, people's cell phones, live performance, you know, everybody. It's like an outrage machine. That's what the internet is. So the transgender Girl Scout thing is fascinating for me, because it raises all sorts of interesting issues. The 14-year-old girl who is outraged about the fact that a Denver chapter, halfway across the country, of the Girl Scouts, locally decided not to allow a 7-year-old transgender identifying girl. His family's letting him do it, and the chapter decided to let him do it. She's outraged, this 14-year-old girl is. And she's using these arguments about, you know, a truly all-girl space and blah, blah, blah. That, I mean, not to dismiss that, but it seems to me a 7-year-old kid who's, you know, really living and trying to live as a girl, I know that seems really young. And that raises a whole other issue of how young should this be, you know, can we accept that a kid knows what's in their own heart, right? But they're doing it, they're trying it. The family's working with them, the family's helping them, right? The mother says, he was born in the wrong body, she was born in the wrong body, I know this, you can tell, just live with this child, you'll see what I mean, right? The argument that the anti-transgender people are using in the Girl Scout case today is almost exactly the same argument that women at the Michigan Women's Festival, which is a very pro-feminist organization that creates women-only spaces, WOMYN, only spaces, has also used for years to deny male-to-female transgendered people from attending their events. It's the very same thing. So Carol, the next thing would be number 7. What is it about patrolling the gender boundaries that's so important to these people? I used to think about being a girl when I was a kid, you know? I used to have these dreams. I was talking with Carol earlier where, you know, I'd just go down like this water slide and all my boy clothes would be taken off and I would end up in girl clothes at the bottom. And those dreams felt really good, you know? And I was like 8. So I can look at that, and those experiences happen. Now, was that just a phase? I don't know. Did I settle for, well, society's not going to let me do this, so I'll just be, you know, a guy for the rest of my life, you know? Some people have the guts not to settle. I don't think I feel the gender disjunction as deeply as truly transgendered people do, but I definitely felt the pressure to not show those feminine impulses. And I think women feel the same thing about their masculine impulses. But for some reason, Carol, did you want to say? Wait, come here. Here, Carol's got a microphone. Here, I'll get out of the way.
I just pulled it back so it can get too shy.
This is Carol, the director of Monkey Time.
Hey, everybody.
There we go.
Am I in?
Yeah.
Hold
it closer.
I just know that when we were talking about when we got here, when I was a kid, I was like, I don't want to be in the Girl Scouts. I want to be in the Boy Scouts, and my mom was like, no, you can't, you can't, but you can join the Girl Scouts. And I'm like, they don't do the same things, I wanted to build the little soapbox derby car things that they did and go camping and, shoot guns and do all these things. But you're at that age, you're just forced to fit into a gender role. But I think I would have been happier as a kid. But I don't know, would it have switched?
Yeah.
When you become a teenager or whatever, do you like, I'm 5'2", what kind of
boy would do? Well, that's yeah.
Well, what's the path of least resistance?
Right.
You get a little bit older, you can decide on these things. So I wonder, but I know I would have been happier from age 4 to, I don't know, 12,
13, 15, 17.
So much happier
if you'd been allowed
to
what?
Live as a boy.
To do more boy things and live as a boy.
Short hair. I wanted to wear the shirt with the number on it and blue jeans and do boy things and play with all the boy neighbors. And I don't have any interest in doing girl things. Barbie. I don't want any of that. So I don't know. And we were saying, so like what the caption says, what's the danger?
Yeah, what is the danger there?
Of allowing kids to be what they want to be. So.
Yeah, and we've got a call, so let it keep ringing. We'll get to the calls. Yeah, what is the danger in letting people explore that? What is the danger? And because that's what they're saying, this is dangerous for girls. What is the danger in allowing a 7-year-old boy who's experiencing life as a girl join the Girl Scouts? For a while, forever, who knows? Maybe it will turn out to be just a phase for that boy, but the support, the loving support of the parents is so important, no matter what. How many parents out there could do that? How many of you parents out there could do that? You've got an effeminate boy, you've got a masculine girl. How many of you are really comfortable letting them play with those boundaries? What's the danger in allowing them to be themselves? That's the question. So if you want to jump in, the number's 996-6775. I'm just fascinated by this rigidness. And again, the people on the right now that are saying, no, this is dangerous, we have to keep boys here and girls here and never the twain shall meet, are making the exact same argument, in my view, as the radical feminists at the Michigan Women's Music Festival are using. I don't know about radical feminists. You know what I mean? Strong feminists. I didn't radical. That's the right wing's term. But to me, radical is a compliment. But the strong feminists at the Michigan Women's Festival use that to exclude transgender people too. And Carol and I were talking before the show. Is there a call?
No.
Oh, okay. That there was. Oh yeah, thanks.
He just disagreed, but he didn't want to talk to you. So.
He just disagreed, but he didn't want to talk to me? Well, what's the point to interrupting us for that? I just disagree with you, but no, I don't want to talk to you. Well, thanks for letting me know that there's people out there that disagree with me. I kind of already know that. But your obligation is to tell me what the danger is. I'm not saying there shouldn't be boys, there shouldn't be girls. I'm saying that there are regularly people who blur the lines, and those people should be allowed to participate fully. And there's no danger in allowing a 7-year-old boy who dresses like a girl and is effeminate and identifies as a girl, and the family's accepted that. And there's nothing wrong with the Girl Scouts at the local level deciding to let that person in. No one's forcing. The Girl Scouts national troop is not forcing the Louisiana Girl Scouts attached to the Christian school to do the same. I thought conservatives were supposed to be about local rights, right? They're states' rights, right? Well, the national chapter of the Girl Scouts is doing just that. But again, the idea that people wouldn't know that the Girl Scouts has historically been a very open, very accepting, the atheist thing. Girl Scouts were the first to drop God, Carol, force the Scouts to, before the Boy Scouts have dug in their heels, the Girl Scouts said, no, if you don't want to swear to God, we'll accept you anyway. They've always been that inclusive. And so just now discovering this, hey, congratulations. And bravo to the mother and to the 7-year-old kid and to the, I think it was in Denver, Colorado troop that said yes, after first rejecting her, the little 7-year-old.